Here with the AZ Audible Cruise. AZ Audibles brought to you by Ortho Arizona. Zach, Eric, I think we've got 2 weeks left till the playoffs in big schools. So we're getting really, really close. Things are shaping out, but it's been a great season for a lot of different teams. I wanted to ask you guys, which teams this year or which team have you seen that, you want to show some love to that maybe hasn't been talked about enough or is having a season that's really just flying under the radar, Eric?
Guys, I'm going to go down to 3A and talk a little bit about Tempe Union. 2 years ago, during the COVID season, they were 0-8. Last year, Sean Freeman took over as the new head coach. They went 1-9. I saw them play Valley Christian back in August for their first game, and it was not pretty. They got beaten badly. They did not look the part one bit. I thought, okay, maybe this is another, 1 to 3 win season. All the Buffs have done since that game. They lost their second game. They've won 5 out of their last 7. They're staying at 5-4, and they have a game coming up this week against Gilbert Christian. So they're going to finish no worse than 500, which is a remarkable turnaround considering they won a total of 1 game the last 2 seasons. I thought it was interesting. I talked to Coach Freeman right before the season started. He made a point to talk about how when he arrived on campus, he basically became his own recruiting coordinator. Tempe has some talent, although, as Zach knows, in that district, you're seeing a lot of shrinking enrollments. It's unbelievable to think that Tempe has 60 freshman players. Good things coming to the Buffs, and I'm curious to see just in the coming years how Freeman is going to elevate that program even more.
Man, Eric, the fact that they have that many freshman players is awesome. And like you said, Tempe Union is kind of seeing shrinking enrollment. Mountain Point dropped down to 4A because of enrollment already. But for me personally, my team, guys, I'm going to go up to the 5A conference. It's not a team necessarily under the radar. It's not a team that, no one really knows about, but it's a team that I saw on Friday night. And I think they deserve a lot of love because the Horizon Huskies are playing a very good brand of football right now. Andy Litton obviously has done a great job taking over that program. I think he's only been there for 2 or 3 years now. 3 years, actually, if I'm not mistaken, or 4. But, I already won a state championship with that team. And the program was a lot different back then 2 years ago when they won. They really didn't have that heavy run style of offense that they do now. And especially when you have a guy like Dylan Nolan Cook, who's 6'6", and Carter Lavrusky, who's also 6'6", manning the offensive line, and a running back at 6'1", 6'2", who also plays linebacker, and Anthony Segura. That's a team that could be very, very dangerous. They lost to Pinnacle, which is a team that's competing right now for the Open Division. They lost by 2 points to Desert Mountain, and that's a game I know they want back. They also play in the Northeast Valley region, which arguably is one of the toughest regions, if not the toughest region in the state overall this year at the 5A level. So the Horizon Huskies are playing a really good brand of football. I saw them on Friday beat Higley, and basically that defense just took away the firepower that Higley usually has had all season, despite not having Luke Halgo at quarterback. But still, this Horizon team is no joke, guys. This is a team that can very well be in the state title game here in about 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, definitely 2 schools I think a lot of people should go check out. I know there's plenty of big games the next 2 weeks, but if you're looking to just kind of check out some different brands of football, I'd say Horizon, Tempe, 2 good schools to go watch these coming weeks. Speaking of things to watch, there's been a lot of really good coaching performances this year. I think there's a lot of teams that are in positions that maybe we didn't know if they could be in. Maybe there's rebuilds that are happening a lot faster than maybe anybody else would have seen. But who would you guys pick as your coach of the year this year? We'll start with you, Zach.
I have to go with the guy who has made me look like a genius on Twitter, and that is Joseph Ortiz from Perry High School. Back in week 1, they played Desert Vista, and I sort of jokingly said that this is a team that could be very dangerous and maybe even be in the run for an Open Division appearance just in his second year at the helm of Perry. But this team has so far, this is a team that everyone thought was going to go 5-5, especially when they entered region play. Kind of a softer, non-region schedule to start. And then people were like, oh, region play is going to kill them. They're going to lose all 5 games. They're right now 7-1, and they have Chandler who's coming off a tough loss to Bashas. So it's kind of one of those questions of which Chandler team are they going to get? Are they going to get the super irritated that they lost Chandler team? Or are they going to get the Chandler team that's kind of still licking their wounds from playing Basha and giving up over 40 points? The Perry Pumas can make some noise. They were competitive against Hamilton for about 3.5 quarters until Hamilton ran away with it. But they've even gotten better since then, beating Castile. This, like I said, this Perry team is very good. And I would not be surprised if they maybe pull off an upset or two come playoff time. Now, will they beat Chandler or Basha next week? Probably not. But I mean, if Joseph Ortiz continues to prove me wrong and make me look good on Twitter by saying that they were a potentially open team, I'll take it all day long.
Yeah, Zach, it's great to see Perry winning games with a quarterback not with the last name of Purdy. Joe Ortiz has done an unbelievable job there. For my coach of the year candidate, I'm going to go to Tucson. If you're looking to start a program, Pat Nugent is a great person to start a program with. In his third year at Micah Mountain, they're 7-1. They could easily be 8-0. They lost the last second game against CDO. And if you look at his track record, guys, at Cienega, he got that program started, went 48-14 in his 6 seasons there, made it to 2 5A stakes semifinals. And the thing I love about Micah is when they built the school, they really put a big emphasis on football, not just their head coach, but the staff, their AD, their principal. They all bought in. And Micah is a program that is going to be one to watch. I mean, 3-3 their first year, 6-4 last year. As I mentioned, 7-1. Good things coming to that program. And I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Both coaches definitely turning around programs a lot faster than maybe people have seen. So I agree with both those picks. I mean, I said it on Bleacher Talk last week, Zach. I think Perry, despite, maybe seeing some teams that aren't typically in 6A be in the playoffs, I still think they could be a team at Sun Devil Stadium in 6A at the end of the year. I mean, he's done a heck of a job there. So great stuff as always, guys. Zach, Eric, you can follow them on Twitter. AZ Audibles here every week, brought to you by Ortho Arizona. We'll see you all next week.